Hello YouTube, this is Rajin and I'm going to show you in this quick tutorial how to enhance your system security with a simple tool called EMET provided by Microsoft. And therefore first I'm going to show you how a system is being infected with a malicious file, and then I'm going to show you how it can be secured easily. So first things first, I set up a Windows XP Professional Service Pack 3 machine for you on my virtual box. So now, some of you may think now, Windows XP, why Windows XP? It's so obsolete. There are Vista and 7 all around here. Yeah, you're right, but in this case it doesn't make any difference because Windows XP and 7 and Vista are all having the same problem if a certain application is vulnerable for an attack like this. So let's show you the exploit I'm going to use first. This is just for the persons who are interested in. I downloaded this vulnerable obsolete version of Foxit Reader. It's 4.1.1. Let me show you. Oh my god, there it is. Yeah, Foxit Reader about 4.1.1, and the other stuff is so not interesting. And this particular exploit is setting up a bind shell which can be accessed through a telnet client like PuTTY or telnet on port 4444. This is the shellcode for this. Just for you to know, this is the main part of the exploit, which is setting up the bind shell that enables remote access to my computer. Remember, instead of setting up a shell here, we could also do every other thing you can imagine. You could run the calculator, or you could shut down the system, or you could install any server Trojan whatsoever. And this is the big deal, because if somebody sends you, in this case, a modified PDF file, and you use this vulnerable Foxit reader, you're getting infected, or in fact the code that is written in this case here will be executed, and depending on what code it is, it will lead to bad behavior. So in this case, I know what is going to happen, so I can show you easily what is cool about this. So let's start. Let's imagine this. A friend of you or somebody else sent you a PDF document. You don't mind anything when seeing it, because it is something you need, or it's just interesting, you want to know what's in it. So you double click on it and whoa, what's this? Foxit Reader crashes, freezes, doesn't do anything. In this case, it freezes because in the background, I show you, netstat ANO is running the bind shell. As we said later, this code will set up a bind shell on the port 4444, which is this line here. I'm going to mark this now for you to see. This status means listening, and it means that it is waiting for incoming connections. So while Foxit Reader is now running, or in this, let's call it freezed mode, I can access it remotely my desktop PC with PuTTY. Well, I know how the PC here is called. It's my he's available in the it is available in the network, and I gave it the name Sackbox, and I enter the port where the telnet, let's call it a server, where the telnet server is running. Check that this is here set to passive, because you will get errors while sending your commands. So if I click now, I get connected to Sackbox. I could easily have accessed any IP address or whatever. It could be an IP address that is reachable over the internet or network or whatsoever. In this case, it is just a host name, like if I would have entered google.com or something, which is nearly the same as a domain name. So now I'm connected to this PC here, the Sackbox PC, which is running in my VirtualBox. And as you can see, I'm username Ragin, which means I have the same privileges as the user Ragin here, which is an administrator account. Sorry for using German word. Sometimes I just switch back into German. And I can easily start any application or whatsoever I want. Calc. Let's see if it worked. Okay, sorry. The first line wasn't working right here. As you can see, I just started the calculator on my remote, and let's say it is infected PC, which is really bad, because if you imagine that I'm a bad person and I would try to steal your account data or use you as your PC as a zombie in a botnet, and yeah, all that stuff I could do now, but it's just for you to understand what is happening here. So let's stop this here. Yeah, I want to close. There is my second calculator. So now, as I close the connection, Foxit Reader also closed, and netstat-a, as you can see, there is no listening on port 4444 anymore. Yeah, sounds stupid, but just never mind. So you may think, what could I do to prevent this? Well, let's try the obvious thing. I virus scanned. Sad thing, no antivirus software will detect this exploit. So if you upload or check or scan or whatsoever your PDF file, the program you use won't recognize that it is an exploit, and the code that might be hidden inside the file will harm your computer. So you might think that using a sandbox program like Sandboxy might help you. Yeah. Run in Sandbox, default Sandbox. This is Sandboxy now. I just start my Foxit Reader in a sandbox, which is indicated by these, let's call them icons. And now I open my malicious PDF document. Oh, as we can see, we still have the problem that it crashes. Oh, let me switch back here to you, because it will look badly. So let's see if we have a yo. And as you can see, the sandbox cannot prevent exploiting your system. We have again we have a bind shell on the port 4444. I could access this now with PuTTY, but I won't show it because just believe me, it is like this. So let's kill this. Die. Okay. Nope, don't send. So now to the easy part. EMET is a program free and it is provided by Microsoft. I will give you the link to the program in the description. And what EMET does is it allows you to enable security features for your apps, for any app you want. It could be your browser or email client like Thunderbird, or if it is a browser, it could be Firefox or Chrome or Internet Explorer or whatsoever. You can enable nearly every tool with this. And for security relevant application, it is really recommended because it will enhance the security level and will prevent many different attacks on your system. Without having access to the source code, which is normally needed for that. But EMET allows you to skip this step and do it all by yourself, which is really good and really easy. So we started an EMET, and first we are going to the configure system button and click it, and we see settings. We can use recommended settings. Thing is, SEHOP, ASLR are not available in Windows XP, so for you here will be more options, but for me there is no other option. You can say always on, which will force every program to activate this, but you don't have to. You can just skip this part and leave everything it is. There will be more ticks, green, yellow, whatsoever. As long as they are not red, you know everything is okay. So let's see here. We see in this little view the currently running apps, the process name, process ID, and information about them, whether they are running EMET or not. As you can see, I have no program that is running EMET right now, but I will configure my Foxit reader so it will enable the features that are useful for this. So what I do is I click configure apps and click add. Oh, wrong thing. And I select my Foxit reader .exe, which is the core application that is used for Foxit reader, and therefore is the vulnerable part of your system when opening a PDF file. So as you can see, the security features are enabled by default, which is really good because it is better to have them all enabled instead of disable them, because that would be not a good idea since you want to have more security. EMET tells you then that the changes you have made may require restarting one or more applications, meaning if you are changing an a currently running application, you will have to restart the application. The changes will be applied after restarting it. So if I start Foxit Reader now, oops, and press the refresh button, I see that Foxit Reader is currently running EMET, and this means that it is currently running, as we said here, DEP, SEHOP, null page, heap spring, EAF, button up read. These are security features to prevent attack techniques that are used in many exploits, and we will see now that opening the malicious interesting document PDF will lead to a crash, and we also have this strange header here, but when I type netstat-ano, we see that no shell is running on nothing is waiting for a connection on port 4444. I can demonstrate this also with PuTTY, which will be unable to connect now. Box 444 telnet. Okay, open. Well, I think this is proof enough. As you can see here, it takes ages because we will get a timeout for the package that was sent to Sackbox, and it crashed. So as you can see, setting up EMET is really easy and will help you in really much of the cases when you are having trouble with security exploits. So I recommend you to enable EMET for every application that is system relevant and will be connected to the internet, such as your browser. In my case, it is Chrome, or your email client, or to Sandboxy as a special and extra level of security. I can show you my EMET on my normal operating system. So there we have it. As you can see, I have many programs already running with DEP, which is a data execution prevention, but not running EMET right now. But I have many apps configured, such as Firefox, Chrome, Adobe Reader. As you can imagine, it is really useful because PDF files are getting more and more interesting for malware developers to get access to a remote PC. Java, which has always been a target for security attacks. PowerPoint, Word, Trillion, MicroTorrent, as you can imagine if you are connected to the internet, and VLC if you're watching a malicious video file which will lead to a crash. It may happen that this file also includes malicious code and will intrude your system. Trillion as my standard messenger. And yeah, as I said before, I really recommend you doing this. And well, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like it, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to me, tell me if you had any problems. I read my comments and I will help you if I can. See you later, guys.